A very good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us. Just before 9 o'clock, before we came on air, I put a call to Graça Machel, one of the elders, and she told me that some of them were leaving Cape Town this morning on their way to Zimbabwe, to Harare, following the news of Robert Mugabe's death. What kind of sentiment has been in response to this news?
Well, Bradan, we just need to make note of the fact that it is the last day of the World Economic Forum on Africa here in Cape Town. So many of the leaders, the diplomats and the ministers, presidents have actually left because the program is coming to an end at midday today. But we managed to speak to the Prime Minister of Eswatini. We managed to actually catch him while he was on his way to his last session, speaking to him about the death of former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe, where he said that he was a hero of Zimbabwe. He was the country is the neighbor of Eswatini, and they're paying condolences and respects to the people of Zimbabwe and all those who knew Robert Mugabe. We also spoke to Archbishop Makgoba, who actually spoke about Robert Mugabe and his legacy. We put the question to him about the legacy that Robert Mugabe left. One must remember that Robert Mugabe's leadership is twofold, given the fact that in the 80s and the 90s he really liberated the country, but of course much later on his policies and his leadership skills were questioned, given the fact that Zimbabwe was led into hyperinflation, where many people actually left the country for a better life, given the fact that the resources were so limited. But hearing from Archbishop, he says that he pays his condolences as well, pays his respects to all those affected by this, and one must remember that leadership must change. It must not remain the same throughout the years, and that Robert Mugabe remained a leader for way too long, and there needs to be room for more people, young people, females, to move into the space of leadership in any given position, and specifically in a country's government. So those are the two people that we've managed to get reaction from. Not a lot of people are here because, as I mentioned, it is the last day of the forum, and many people left last night and have left early this morning. So we'll continue to monitor the situation and see if we can get any more reaction from those who are still present that can comment, given the fact that it is WEF on Africa and lots of African diplomats and leaders are present at this forum.
Well, the main leaders have already left, but we'll see what more reaction you can get from them. Heidi, thank you very much for that. But before you go, Heidi, they're wrapping up today.
Yes.
Any interesting topics on the agenda as this forum comes to an end in Cape Town today?
Well, we do know that the last plenary session will be taking, it's actually currently underway, and we do understand that, you have the World Bank chief economist, Albert Zufak, who will be attending that. We also have Standard Bank that will be attending that. But later on, we do understand that Ethiopian president might also be present for the very, very last session that's set to take place at around 1:30. But I think everybody's still trying to get to grips with what's actually happened with former President Robert Mugabe. It's still very quiet here. I'm not sure if you can actually see behind me. There aren't many people walking around. There's my cameraman Crescendo actually just showing you. There's not many people walking around. I think people are also heading to Mount Nelson, where we do understand that the President of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, is set to brief the media or give comment on what has transpired and the breaking news that's come in about Robert Mugabe. So I think everything is up in the air at the moment, but we do understand that there are two last sessions that are set to take place, and then WEF will wrap up at about 1:30 today.
Thank you very much, Heidi, and we wish you well in trying to get some of those reactions to Robert Mugabe's death on camera today, and hopefully we will also get President Emmerson Mnangagwa's statement that is expected to be made at some point at the Mount Nelson Hotel in Cape Town today.